Hi guys, the building that you see in front of you is the Ali Yawarzang National Institute for Speech and Hearing Disabilities, the Regional Center Kolkata, West Bengal. So this is a Government of India undertaking under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and it is aimed towards providing all sorts of rehabilitative services that may be needed for any individual, whether an adult or a child, who's dealing with any hearing related, speech related issues that he may have had since childhood or may have developed as an adult. Along with that, this institute also trains professionals in order to ensure that outside of these four walls, adequate services are available. Well trained, well qualified professionals are available to all those individuals that may be disabled or that may have experienced any difficulties. Maybe they had an accident or they had a stroke, anything that could have impaired their speech or hearing. The services at our institute are provided at a very nominal cost. You may find out in details about the same on the website that has just popped up on the video, as well as about any of the courses that you may be interested in training for anybody in your family or your own children. You could log on to the website and find out more details. Now, who am I? I am Sanghamitra Dey. I am a postgraduate student at the said institute. I am currently pursuing Masters in Audiology and Speech Language Pathology. And along with me in this video today is Miss Meghna Hens. She is also a first year postgraduate student along with me. She's my batchmate. And we have been encouraged to make this video by our faculty and Professor Shri Indranil Chatterjee, who is one of the experienced and amazing faculties at our institute. He has been with the institute for many years now and has been in the field even longer. In the video, we will be discussing two topics primarily. Firstly, we will be getting into a generic discussion about what stuttering is, how do you assess it, and in general, what the management plan may be. So, when this may help you when you go on to consult a speech therapist or a speech language pathologist as to what the person is doing, it may give you a better insight to it. The second issue that the video is covering is normal non-fluency. Lately, we have seen a huge rise in children that are perhaps below 4 years or 5 years of age and their parents are bringing them to us with the complaint that the child has stuttering. So we want to enable you to have better understanding about what stuttering really is, and at the same time how to deal with it if it occurs in your child. Along with that, we also want to make sure that we can help you in understanding that every person doesn't speak the same way. Every person doesn't have the same pattern of fluency like you might have. Like you can see for yourself in the entire video, when I was speaking, I have paused multiple number of times. I've used I've repeated some words. I have done those things as well, but does that mean I'm stuttering? No, it does not. So that is what we'll get into the details with. The first segment of the video is by Miss Meghna Hens. She will be discussing stuttering and stuttering management in general, and the second segment of the video is by me, Sanghamitra Dey, and we will be discussing normal non-fluency and what kind of signs to look out for and how to deal with it in a very brief pattern. Of course, you can get a more detailed information if you come and visit our center, or you can visit any other place that is nearest to you, if at all this video brings something out for you.
Hello, myself Meghna Hens, student of MSLP first year of AYJNI SAHT, Nashi, Kolkata. Here I am going to discuss a management technique of stuttering for the children under supervision of Mr. Indranil Chatterjee. So we have to know what is stuttering. Stuttering is a disorder of speech fluency characterized by various speech and non-speech behavior that interfere with the forward flow of speech. In stuttering, we can see some core behavior like repetition of syllable or word, prolongation, blocks, hesitation. There can be some secondary behavior also like lip movement, or facial grimaces. Assessment of stuttering is very important for management, which include gathering of proper background information, discuss type of disfluency, severity of disfluency, and other secondary behavior. So here are some management technique. First, we can target to reduce disfluencies in speech, in which we can use prolonged speech. Child will be asked to prolong the vowels, especially those at beginning of the word or phrase or sentence. Child should be reinforced for their correct responses. Secondly, we have to reduce the speech rate of the child. We can use the lily pad analogy by drawing and showing the child and the model what is the lily pad analogy. Then we have to target to reduce the secondary behavior. Technique can be used like freezing, which is described by Van Riper. The child will be asked to freeze at that moment when he is having the secondary behaviors and then correct the behavior and start again. In this case, parents should be very polite and very attentive listener to their child, and parents should not provide any kind of fear or unnecessary stress toward the child for the speaking situation, and always reinforce the child. Thank you. I think this will help you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hens. So now, as I had mentioned earlier, we are moving on to our next segment, that is normal non-fluency. Are you worried about how your child might have stuttering? If yes, then this video may help you. Hi, once again, I'm Sanghamitra Day here, and I'm also being supervised by Shri Indranil Chatterjee. Normally, fluent speech is not perfect speech. Normal speakers may pause, edit, and they may revise their thoughts without being referred to a speech-language pathologist. Disfluencies are a part of normal speech, as I had mentioned earlier also. However, when speakers cross the boundary to abnormal disfluencies, they are exposed to negative evaluations about their speech. Hence, what you need to know as a parent is that not all disfluency is stuttering, and how you react to your child's disfluency is extremely important. A child may be disfluent as a result of passing through the necessary but stressful stages of language learning. These developmental disfluencies are a normal part of the acquisition of a language, or a person may be disfluent because he is a stutterer. So either of which is possible. But how do you know which is applicable for your child? So the thing is that each of these set of disfluencies, they come with their own identifiable set of conditions. Okay, these can be identified by the speech language pathologist, and you as a parent can also recognize them. And so here is what I would suggest that you look out for in case of normal non-fluency. Firstly, is your child between 2.5 to 4 years of age? If so, then what you have to understand primarily is this is the period where he or she is going to be most disfluent. And if it is so, then it is important to not poke him and make him self-aware and conscious. You have to be patient with him, and if it persists beyond this age as well, then you should consult a speech language pathologist. Normal disfluencies are characterized by repetitions of whole words and phrases with occasional interjections of If this is what his stuttering behaviors look like, then I think you may have nothing to worry about. If he is blissfully unaware, if he doesn't have a problem with his own speech, if the child then you don't have to worry about it. Just don't make him self-conscious. But if the child is aware and he is embarrassed by it, then you may have something to be concerned about. If the child is avoiding speaking, avoiding eye contact when speaking, avoiding specific words or sounds, if you see these signs, then you should seek help from a registered speech language pathologist. If you see the signs that I discussed earlier that were of normal non-fluency, then just provide him a good, healthy, stimulating environment, and do not give him any negative feedbacks about his speech. Thank you so much. I hope this helps. I know this is very brief, but this is just to help you decide whether or not you indeed need to be concerned about his speech, and if you do, then what it is that you have to do. Thank you for listening.